Let me ask you this, man. I think this is important because I think, again, I reference how my friend said you might want to reconsider a new term, which obviously I'm not going to do. But what was it specifically, right? Let's identify what conservatism means to you and kind of what were the guiding foundational principles that said, this is appealing to me. This is why I align myself with it. Maybe it was one thing, or maybe it was like a plethora of different things. I don't want to kind of limit your thought process here, but what was the one thing you're like, man, that really appeals to me, and I understand the value behind this and the merit behind this?
The thing with conservatism that I like the best is that it's the ability to be free from intervention from other people, right? So you have the ability to live out your dreams in whatever way possible that is, in a way that's not hurting anyone else. And leftism is the opposite of that. It is about control. It is about power, where conservatism basically says, here you have the tools and the abilities now living in a country where conservatism is, where you can start a business, you can start a family, you can do all these things you want without interference from some other party. And leftism is the complete opposite of that. And so for me, being someone, again, who dropped out of college, who came and worked for PragerU, moved to a whole different city, it's like, I want to be able to have the freedom to be able to do that, to be able to speak my mind and put these things out there. Without those kind of freedoms, I could never have the job that I have now, with the left,
Right.
with things like hate speech and censorship and things. It'd be very difficult if they had their way. So conservatism is definitely the way for me, and I think the best way to have a free and successful society.
Yeah. I obviously agree. Power of the individual, right? Empower a person, not necessarily enable per se, or treat them like they're less than or inferior or incapable of achieving anything that anybody else has achieved, right? And I talk about this often, but my wife is from Puerto Rico. She moved here when she was 21, right? So 9-10 years ago. She now has a multi-million-dollar company. English is not her first language, and technically she's, Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S., but we treat it like the redheaded stepchild, right? Like it's not a state. We don't treat it as a state. It kind of is, but it isn't, right? And then her brother comes here and he builds a multiple six-figure business within a matter of 18. Like, it's unbelievable to me. Anybody can do this. Like, anybody can go have success if they actually believe in the power of themselves, of individualism, right? So I completely believe that. So let me ask you this then. Why is that worth canceling? Where did this cancel nonsense come from? Because what you just said, that to me is something worth rallying around and something to really preach and teach to people and have people buy into that. Right? Where did the canceling come into this equation?
So if you're familiar with Nietzsche, who was a 18th century German philosopher, he had the famous phrase that said, "God is dead. We have killed him." If you're familiar with this at all, but he wasn't saying this as like a congratulatory thing, like, yes, God is dead. Finally, now we can have something else. It was a scary thing for him, because now in the West we were losing a system of morality or a system of beliefs that people could abide by. Right. And so people still look for meaning in their lives, even without God and Judeo-Christian values. And so as America
Sure.
and the West becomes more and more secular, people still need to find some sort of meaning in their lives. And so they do that with leftism. They do that with something like climate change or this racism stuff all going on now, or any other movement that goes with leftism. This becomes the meaning in their lives. So now when you have someone who goes against that and they say, I am against your religion, essentially, then
Mm,
they turn into people who want to completely shame you. First of all, out of envy, and second of all, because you are destroying their belief system. That's a very personal thing to them. So when you're
right.
coming and saying, I don't agree with you with what you've kind of based your whole life about, which gives your life meaning, then of course people want to cancel you for that. They want to bring you down and shut you down. There is no appeasing these people when they've made this entire thing their religion and their moral code.
All right. Did you like that clip? Remember, that's not the full interview. And you can watch the rest of that discussion right above my head. You can click right on the screen. Go ahead and start that now. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. See you inside.